self-love is a learned behavior. If we weren't taught to love ourselves and love ourselves in a healthy manner, it definitely can feel like a foreign concept. Hey cousin, come on in. Welcome to the Dear World Podcast, the place that if you drink your water and mind your business, you'll be just fine. I'm your host, Miss Amber J. The goal of the podcast is to be relatable, transparent, and honest. We're all family here, so nothing is off limits. I hope that you enjoy your listening experience, and don't forget to turn on your notifications so that you can be alerted whenever a new episode has been posted. What's going on, family? It's your girl, Amber J, back with another episode of the Dear World Podcast. I have been MIA. I am just honestly trying to figure out life as a content creator. Although I have been on the internet, in these streets for many years, putting out content, I have never considered myself a content creator. So I'm just trying to figure out what that means for me. What do I want my content to look like? How to be consistent, because y'all know I struggle with consistency. Just really diving back into podcasts, doing series. I want to start doing interviews, all of those good things. So I'm just trying to find my lane and navigate it. So here we are. What's going on with me? What's new? I don't really know. Still working a job that I can't stand, but I am thankful because it pays the bills. It's a means to an end. So I can't complain too much. And I will say, when it comes to work, I finally am in a headspace where I'm just like, it is what it is. I have listened to things over and over and realized that they're not going to change, at least right now. And that's okay. But I can't continue to frustrate myself or be frustrated about the same thing. So I am adjusting and pivoting. I am learning to just ride the wave, let things roll off my back. Because what's the point of continuously getting frustrated when the people or the situation or whatever it is continues to just move forward, lottie-dalin, however you say it, and not being frustrated. So if you are a person that works a job that you don't necessarily like, or people getting on your nerves or whatever it is, sometimes you just have to get to a point and accept that this is what it is for the time being. And you got to figure out how to navigate and cope within the space until you can get up out of there. So that is the thing. Y'all will be proud of me. I actually have been working on my t-shirts. Yes. So what had happened was I did come up with an official t-shirt design. I got the screen print for it. But baby, when I tell you that thing is itty bitty, it's probably going to be a pocket square. And that's okay. Trial and error. We live and learn. But I will have an example for y'all soon. Hopefully next episode I can show y'all what I'm working with. What else has been going on? Oh, I also have been working on a new book. I will be releasing, probably 3 books within the next couple of months, I'm going to say. December is the goal, to have everything off of the ground. I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself, but I know I can do it. Because again, if I can work all of these hours for a job that I can't stand and do a damn good job, I can do the same thing for myself and my business endeavors. So I implore you to do the same. If you have a goal or something that you are working on in a sense of a book, podcast, merchandise, whatever it is, do it. Believe in yourself. Put forth the effort. And as my boyfriend reminded me, you got to grind for it. And I think that's my problem. I'm cool with grinding at a 9 to 5. But when it comes to having to grind for myself, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it because there's nothing attached to it. It's not like, with work, if I don't show up or don't do what I'm supposed to do, I'm not going to get my check. But with myself, it's like, oh, if I don't do it, it is what it is. It's no repercussions. But ultimately, the repercussion is never reaching my full potential, never getting to a space that I want to be in, never reaching my peak. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really trying real hard to be consistent, y'all. So that's what's been going on with me. Other than, diving into my little content bag or whatever, nothing too much has been going on in life. Just working and figuring out adulthood. Adulthood is ghetto. You can't convince me otherwise. It just is. But we're not here to talk about that. Oh, I do know one other thing, y'all. I'm in my 6-month lock journey. Hello. It's funny. I told my boyfriend today that I have considered taking them out, but then I was like, 1, too much money invested. 2, do you gonna have to go back to who doing your hair, when they doing it, and taking it out and all of that jazz. And 3, we are invested in this journey. We gonna see what happens. Okay, so we just gotta deal with the frizzies. I think my problem is when it comes to locks, I wasn't prepared for just how crazy things can get with the roots, baby. Because I am used to like real crisp, clean hairdos. Like, even when I have braids, when they start to get frizzy, I hate them. Take them out. So that itself takes some getting used to. But I'm gonna continue to be a lot girly, okay? Clock that. Anyway, let's dive into today's episode. We are going to dive into the first part of a 4-week series about self-love. We are going to define what self-love is, how to attain it, all that good jazz. So if you are interested in hearing more, make sure you stick around for this episode and come on back for week 2, 3, and 4. Share this episode with somebody that you think would enjoy. See, that's what I'm talking about. Getting into that content bag. It's hard to just roll off all of that stuff because I'm so used to just talking and chopping it up with y'all and not worrying about liking it and sharing it and all that other jazz. But again, we're trying to get that check. We're trying to get paid. So make sure you watch this all the way through, even if you put it on the max speed that it can go to, okay? I need you to like it. That means thumbs it up or wherever you at. Is it a heart? I don't really know because it's going to be on all of the things, all right? And I need y'all to subscribe if you on YouTube. Follow me on all my socials, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And I need you to head over to your favorite podcast platform and make sure you following me on there. And that's just that. Got all that out the way. Without further ado, let's dive into this episode. So today we are talking about self-love. This is a 4-part series, this being the first part. So first and foremost, I want to define what self-love is. Self-love is rooted in everything that we do, how you show up in the world, how you show up in relationships, how you show up for yourself. Hello? How I show up for myself be crazy sometimes. I don't know about y'all, but I'm learning. And just to be completely transparent, I'm still on my self-love journey. And I need y'all to understand that self-love is not a destination. It's a daily thing. It takes effort. It is a journey and not a destination. And I think that's where some people get it twisted. It's like, oh, I learned to love myself and I'm always going to love myself and I don't have to put any effort towards doing so. That's not true. Self-love is definitely a journey. It is not a destination. But what is self-love? Self-love is not being selfish. It's not being self-centered. It's about being self-aware. It's about knowing your value. It's about how you show up for yourself. It's about how you speak to yourself. Self-love is the foundation for everything that we do, for how we show up in the world, for how we show up in relationships, for how we show up for ourselves. But ultimately, what is self-love? At its core, self-love means recognizing your worth and treating yourself with compassion, respect, and care, even on your worst days. Self-love is not about being perfect. It's not about being selfish. And self-love is not a destination. Self-love is a journey. It's something that you actively have to practice. One thing about self-love that I definitely want to emphasize is that it's not selfish. Understand that you cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to show up for yourself before you can show up for other people. When you are grounded in self-love, you actually have the space to give more. Sometimes we are not rooted in self-love and we still try to give and then we end up feeling depleted. We have a lack of self-identity and all of these other things because, again, we try to pour from an empty cup. We try to pour from a space where we don't have anything to give. So we are giving parts of ourselves and then we start to diminish our self-love in doing that. So I need you to understand, you can't pour from an empty cup. You know how they say you got to put your oxygen mask on first when you're on that plane? It's the same thing when it comes to self-love and how you show up for yourself. And y'all know I cannot talk about self-love without throwing myself under the bus. Relatable, transparent, and honest is the motto of the podcast. I'm still in my self-love journey. I'm still learning what self-love looks like. I'm still learning what it means to love myself unconditionally. I'm working past my imperfections. I'm learning to give myself more grace. I'm learning to get out of my own way. All of these things are a part of how I show up for myself and how I love myself. So I definitely am still in that journey because, again, it's not a destination. It is a journey and it takes effort daily. Some days, I feel like doing nothing, and I have to remind myself, girl, you got to pour into yourself, because you pour into everybody else and do all of these things for everybody else, but you are neglecting yourself. And then I wonder why I look at myself, in a certain light, or why I'm so hard on myself, or why I'm so nitpicky with myself. It's because I am not truly diving into what self-love is and putting it into practice in my day-to-day life. So I'm not preaching from a place of I know everything. I am preaching from a place I'm doing this. I'm with y'all. I got boots on the ground, and I want to walk through this with you. I also recognize in previous relationships, I felt like I had to perform in order to be loved, and I had to learn that you don't have to earn love, just like you don't have to earn self-love. Well, if I'm being completely honest, my wild ass relationships is what really set me down and made me look at the way that I was loving myself. It made me reflect on the people that I was choosing and why I was choosing them and why I was sticking around for the things that they were doing. I had to go through some things to learn, baby, you lacking a little self-love. And that's why you allow these people to treat you the way that they do, because you can't expect somebody to treat you well and to love on you and to pour into you and all of these things when you don't do that for yourself, when you don't recognize your worth. You can't expect somebody else to recognize your worth when you don't even recognize it. So again, that's why self-love is so important. You got to know your worth. You got to stand on it. When I say you got to stand on it 10 toes down, big business, yeah. Okay, a part of our self-love journey, I want us to focus on 4 things: self-compassion, self-forgiveness, self-trust, and self-care. So those are 4 things we are going to work on establishing as we continue to walk through our self-love journey. I can't emphasize this enough. Self-compassion. You are a human. You weren't created to be perfect. You're not going to do things perfectly. You're not always going to get things right. Have some self-compassion, okay? Give yourself some grace. Self-forgiveness. Allowing yourself to grow instead of punishing yourself for making a mistake over and over and over again. It's okay. You made a mistake. We learn from it. We move forward. You have to learn how to forgive yourself and let go of past mistakes and understand that your mistakes did not define you. You are not the same version of yourself that you were 5 years ago. You're probably not the same version of yourself that you were a month ago. It's okay to make mistakes and forgive yourself for those mistakes. Stop holding stuff over your own head. You keep forgiving that man or that woman 50, 100, 11 times, but you won't forgive yourself. Make it make sense, babe. Make it make sense. Self-trust, the ability to listen to your own voice. Sometimes we spend so much time spinning our wheels, asking other people what we should do, how we should do it, all because we don't trust ourselves, because we don't trust our judgment. So learning to build self-trust is important. Self-care isn't just about bubble baths, wine, getting haircuts, and all of that good stuff. While all of that shit is nice, that is not what self-care is. Self-care is tangible acts that you do every day. So setting them boundaries, getting enough sleep, protecting your peace, making sure you eating, all of that. That is self-care. It is reinforcing the concept, the idea, the understanding that you matter. And let me backtrack, not to say that you can't have a bubble bath as a form of self-care, but that is not the epitome of what self-care is. Self-love is a learned behavior. If we weren't taught to love ourselves and love ourselves in a healthy manner, it definitely can feel like a foreign concept. Sometimes we got to unlearn some things, and sometimes we have to learn things. We will spend our entire lives learning and unlearning. And I can't emphasize this enough. Unlearning is just as important as learning. So with that being said, I want to reinforce, if you don't love yourself right now, or if you lack self-love, or you are not at a point that you feel like your self-love is at a peak, it is okay. You can learn to love yourself. We are going to learn it together, because as I said, it's a journey and not a destination. So why is self-love important? Self-love is important because it changes the way you show up for yourself. It changes the way you speak to yourself. And it changes the way you pursue your goals and just overall how you live your life. Okay, family, I have some homework for y'all before we get to part 2 of this series. So your journal prompt of this week is going to be, what does self-love mean to me and how does it show up in my life? Your self-love challenge is to write a love letter to yourself. Write about the things you love about yourself. Write about the things that you are still healing from. Write about the things that you are proud of. Then your affirmation of the week is, I am worthy of love and care as I am. Say it again and again and again. Family, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Dear World Podcast. If you don't remember anything else that I said, please remember this. You are enough. Next week, we are going to be diving into the voice inside your head and how to turn it from your biggest critic to your greatest ally. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All right, family, that's it for now. Thank you for tuning into the Dear World Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to share it. And until next time, you know what to do. Drink your water, mind your business.